leave us, be thou art
3, and there are two very intriguing unfinished plot lines that still remain in the game. And these two plot lines, they directly oppose one another. Londor. They call it the Hollow Realm, and it has links to a primordial serpent, to New Londo, to Velka, the goddess of sin, and to the most intriguing, hard-to-get ending of Dark Souls 3. It's a hugely significant location from a lore point of view, and I'm confident that this is where the DLC will be based.
Make Londor whole.
Let me paint a picture of Londor for you. Londor is a society of undead, comprised of corpses and shades who have led unsavory lives. As such, these hollows are deeply detested and hated, which is nothing new for Hollowkind, really. It's even been recorded that sometimes a hollow will use a purging stone to remove the physical effects of the undead curse, temporarily reversing their hollowing, and occasionally a hollow will even fool himself into thinking he's no longer cursed and will turn on his own kind. Which reminds me of what Drk says down here.
This pit is for hollows, not for the likes of you sane folk. Or perhaps you are a hollow, posing as otherwise?
And I tell you these things because even though the hollows of Londor are hated, even though they sometimes fight amongst themselves, they still remain a truly unique example of hollows forming a society, and that is interesting, because undead are a powerful force if they have a purpose. We see that in the Undead Legion who fought the Abyss, and we see that in every protagonist from a Dark Souls game, really. So it begs the question, what are the undying hollows of Londor fighting for, and what are they bound by?
The Age of Fire was founded by the old gods, sustained by the linking of the fire. But the gods are no more, and the all-powerful fire deserveth a new heir. Our Lord of Hollows, it shall be, who weareth the true face of mankind.
This is Uriel, seeker of the Lord of Hollows, and one of the three maidens who founded the Sable Church of London. The Sable Church translates to the Black Church, and its towers are said to resemble the 8 jagged branches of the Morian blade. The church is said to offer salvation to hollows, which must be a pretty attractive tagline for cursed individuals. I'd wager that if I was cursed with undeath, then I'd be pretty open to a little bit of faith to keep me from hollowing. So it's very clearly implied that the Sable Church is what keeps the hollows of London grounded. This faith is not an oath taken lightly, however, because those who fuck up are exiled. They give their words to the atonement miracle. Hollows who recite this miracle think that they're reciting words of forgiveness, but in reality, the atonement miracle makes you attract more attention from foes and increases enemy aggro range. That's a pretty evil punishment. Not only are you exiled, you're exiled and you have death. The three maidens who founded the Sable Church, they cut an imposing figure. All three are highly skilled fencers, so skilled in fact that they were able to found the Sable Church between just the three of them. The third oldest daughter is named Eve, a woman who seems to have contributed a lot of the theology that ran the church. She was the first to speak the words of the and is also said to read those tales that portray the second oldest is Uriel, and if Lillian was the speaker, then Uriel would be the swordswoman, as she is said to have claimed 100 lives with her weapon, Darkdrift. This legendary cursed sword penetrates straight through shields. Nothing. Firstborn daughter. maidens of a primordial serpent, and when we murder Yuria, we figure out who this serpent is.
Darkstalker Kath, I can guide thee and illuminate the truth. Your ancestor claimed the Dark Souls
That are referenced as daughters, with mentions to their order of birth. So the only reason I can think of that they would do this is that the parents are important. And I think I know who the mother might be, but that speculation will wait till the end of the video. At any rate, these three daughters are described as maidens of a primordial serpent, and when we murder Yuria, we figure out who this serpent is.
Kath, I have failed thee.
Greetings, undead warrior. I am the primordial serpent, Darkstalker Kath. I can guide thee.
Drk Souls, who corrupted the four kings, who looted the kingdom of Ulasil with the Abyss, is back. And now, through Yuria, the sacred church of Londor, pilgrims, Yol, Kath continues to seek a ruler of the
They fail every last one. They
pilgrims so many of them have died this way, because the Lothric bloodline is obsessed with creating a worthy heir to link the fire, and that's the event that Londor wanted to influence. However, they're kind of out of luck, because Lothric refused to link the fire, and you, the unkindled through the linking of the fire, by some twisted fate, met with Yol, and all was given up.
gravity and strength. All will soon be clear, my good lord.
Thanks to thee, your soul is redeemed.
Will soon be clear, my good lord.
Thanks to thee, your soul is redeemed. Allow me to express my gratitude in his stead.
When we meet with Yuria, she frequently mentions how she's keeping an eye on all of those who could potentially be a Lord of Hollows. Orbeck is one, Anri another, but she believes that you are the true Lord of Hollows and compels you to strike down Orbeck before he becomes a threat and to claim Anri's dark sigils in this ritual within the Dark World. If you betray then the pale shade Londor. But if you're allied with you, will assist you throughout the world. Another thing to note is that many characters associated with Londor use bleed weapons like Dark Drift, Warrior Blade, or Vatican Claws, and dark sign.
For when the undead dies, it is never truly dead, but only one step closer to death. Not all undead are hollow. Hollows were once undead.
You might be wondering, what are dark sigils? I'm assuming it's a dark sign, and the description of the dark sigils says that they're a problem because our humanity literally leaks out. The gap that creates is filled with the accumulation of the undead curse. So our character is always in the process of losing his dark soul, becoming more like the hollows, all humanoid beings. For ages, towards the first plane, to fuel it, to link it, to sit at it and reset the world and keep the gods in their age of fire. But the world was never meant to be stuck in this age.
Unaware of his grand illusion.
The undead curse is often referenced as appearing after Gwyn linked the fire, so we assume that Gwyn is at fault somehow. It's the gods who shackled us, and while we don't quite know how it started, we do know what happens to undead cursed with the dark sign.
For when the undead dies, it is never truly dead, but only one step closer to hollow. All undead are hollows, but all hollows were once undead.
You might be wondering, what are dark sigils? Well, I'm assuming that they're synonymous with the dark side, and the description of the dark sigils says that they're a problem because our humanity literally leaks out of them. The gap that creates is filled with the accumulation of the undead curse. So our character is always in the process of losing his dark soul, becoming more like hollows, all humanoid beings filled with that state. And for ages, undead have been shepherded towards the first plane, fueled to lick it, to sit at it, and reset the world. Once in their age, is never meant to be stuck in this age of fire. It was supposed to go the age of ages, fire, then the age of man, natural progression. But it struggles to die, much the same way that the undead can see the dark side towards the end of the game. That's pretty symbolic.
It is all.
Undead are literally burned, struggle to die. I mean, you even see the dark sign in the sky towards the end of the game. That's pretty symbolic.
It is all a curse. And it is your cursed flesh that will inherit the flame.
Undead are literally burned as fuel for the bonfires that perpetuate this age. After the realization, I finally understand that this is
All will inherit the flame.
Undead are literally burned as fuel for the bonfires that perpetuate this age. And I had a realization. I finally understand that this is what we see
Redeem.
in the opening cutscene. We see the soul of Cinder burning an undead to ash, presumably to be buried in the untended graves, which, remember, are not far at all from the kiln. And then we arise from this undead ash as unkindled. Not just undead, unkindled. In Miyazaki's words, unkindled are undead who failed to link the fire and were burnt to ash. They exist to inherit the past and put an end to this cumulative tale. So, the unkindled is special. We're not just cinder, we're not just the corpse of an undead, we're both. We're something new. A new species, for lack of a better word, that has a choice. The undead curse no longer has the power over us that it once had. We can choose to fuel the bonfires and burn like charcoal, or we could choose to embrace the undead curse itself. Let's go back to Dark Souls 2, where it actually foreshadows a lot of this happening. Vendrick, a past Lord of Light and a Lord of Mankind who lost himself to the curse, I think he knew that this was the way it would end, or at least he thought it would.
With fire, they say, a true king can harness the curse.
A lie, but I knew no better. Inherit fire and harvest. Such is the calling of a true leader.
We are the unkindled who inherited fire. We are the cursed undead who harnesses the dark. We gain levels through the power of the Dark Sigil, and we even kill other powerful sigils for our own, so that we can be strong enough to claim the first flame for mankind. And that is a new ending.
Our lord and liege, thine heart is fixed upon the linking of the fire. But, brave usurper, I prithee, when the moon cometh to link the fire, wrest it from its mantle, so that we hold in most honor.
Us her undying, guides us. She tells us where to find Vendrick. She tells us where to find the giants. She guides this bearer of the curse all the way to the first flame, and we kill her. That doesn't seem very smart, but she says,
And link the fire.
strange that a being of dark would bizarre murder ritual and can subsequently claim the first flame like Nishandra wanted to. I always found it strange that a being of dark would want to claim the first flame. I just thought they would want to stop people linking it and let it die, but in Dark Souls 3 we learned that you can usurp it and making a real push for that to happen. So Dark Souls 2 is something in the Lord of Hollows, Dark Souls 3, starfleet forces within our bodies and collapse. When we rise, reborn, you see this beautiful little detail. You see the sun in the background. It's no longer red like the dark side. It's ringed with white. There's this illusion where we lift this new. This video is crazy long, but best is yet to come. There's two things I'm very excited about seeing in the next DLC, and I do think it's really likely. So, one Drake. He's really good at digging, covering Jaru's blonde of sin, because I personally think it's undeniable that Velka is heavily involved in Londor, and Velka, the goddess of sin, is one of the most influential and curious. To be forlorn is to despair, to be alone without purpose. These are the souls drawn into the painting, to the cold, gentle world of Ariandel. Some, like Elfrida, they lost faith in their duty. Some simply outlived that duty. And others, like and its favorite used in sacred rites, not battle. On the blades of these weapons, like the battle axe, is this symbol of the ethereal oak, which is clearly at the heart of their civilization. This tree appears on their weaponry, on their capes, on their shields, and even their helmets are adorned with antlers believed to grow from the blessed beast of the ethereal oak. And judging from the horns, I think that would be a kind of stag. Strange, right? It's a very curious tree from all descriptions, and it also appears to be a very bountiful tree, considering they cut from it the horns for their helmets, and maybe even the wood for their shields. And I'm very confident that the ethereal oak is actually a spirit tree, as they're described in other item descriptions. For the word ethereal can mean not of this world, and spirit trees have been referenced multiple times to be otherworldly, the things of dreams. In all the games, spirit trees are actually some of the kindest beings in the series, for with every new spirit tree mentioned, we learn a little bit more about them. In Dark Souls 2, for example, a spirit tree was said to have turned itself into a shield to protect a small, frightened child. In the Sunken Kingdom, we found one that repairs the weapons you hit it with. And even in the undead settlement, the curse rotted consumed the curses of the townsfolk at its own sacrifice. Selfless, considering all the sacrifices they go through. And here, to the Millwood Knights, is this tree so bountiful that an entire society was built around it. Unfortunately, of course, when the fabled Millwood Forest was discovered, it was a vacant ruin. The only thing left was the ethereal oak, stood rotting. It's said that arranged around the rotting ethereal oak, around the basis of their civilization, were the belongings of the knights, and they were arranged neatly on the ground. Yet, despite the ruin and the rotting tree, no corpses were found. And I believe the reason the description mentions that no corpses were found is because the knights themselves, their being, not necessarily their belongings, were drawn into it. But we'll get to that. So, what caused this? What or who caused their forest to well, great bows, so that they could face this sworn enemy was the closest thing we have to an abyss dragon, in my opinion, in Souls lore, is the dragon that's this tainted flame and is known as the Great. So, the calamitous dragon fits the serpents are known as imperfect dragons, and he's an imperfect dragon who resides in the abyss. However, he doesn't really fit either. The Millwood Knights created great bows to take down this creature. Now it makes a great degree of sense to think that they would craft great bows to shoot down giant flying beasts, such as Calamity. This exact thing happened because it was so this could be a sort of repeat of that scenario in the same sense that so many other scenarios are repeated in Dark Souls 3. But regardless, whoever this dragon was, even if it isn't Calamite, it would seem that their great bows, they weren't enough to take this thing down. The Millwood Forest was brought to ruin, and according to their captain's ashes, the Millwood Knights lost the forest they called home and began a journey so long that even thoughts of their sworn enemy washed away, replaced by a vision The knights, forlorn, the poet washed away the trauma of their past, the terrible things they'd seen. The safe place waits until the unkindled ash comes to where the was alive. Hey guys, thank you for subscribing, especially to those who support me on Patreon. Next week's video will be on Corvus. See you then.
When the world rots, we set it afire. For the sake of the next world. It's the one thing we do right, unlike those fools on the outside.
It's an allegory for the outside. It's a mirror we hold up to reveal the truth, even if things are a little backwards. Think of what this Corvine just said. When the world rots, we set it afire. For the sake of the next world. Which is very similar in concept to the fire that burns down the painting. The linking of the fire chases away the darkness, just like the fire of Ariandel burns away the rot. Both worlds have this tradition of setting themselves aflame to rekindle a cycle of rebirth. However, consider this next one. The Corvian also says it's the one thing to rot, unlike those fools on the outside. And that's right, because last I checked, those fools on the outside, they loved linking the fire. They have an entire kingdom devoted to it. So why is this Corvian saying that they don't do it right on the outside? It doesn't really match up. If these parallels are correct, surely they are doing it wrong. That's right. Perhaps rot isn't the parallel to darkness. It would make more sense instead for rot to be representative of the never-ending cycle of light and dark, representative of stagnation. And in this comparison, the father bleeds to satiate the flame, just like the unkindled is sacrificed. Perhaps rot isn't the parallel to darkness. It could make more sense instead for rot to be representative of the never-ending cycle of light and dark, representative of stagnation. And in this comparison, the father bleeds to satiate the flame, just like the unkindled is sacrificed to satiate the flame on the outside. And at the end, a new painting is created. But this time, it's created with the dark soul of man as the pigment, just like the first flame can be usurped by the dark soul of man, finally allowing the world to progress to the next stage. I like this set of parallels a little bit more, don't you?
I am so terribly frightened of timidly rotting away like those fools on the outside.
Those on the outside can be drawn into the painting. Despair is the one thing they all have in common. One such example is the first Corvian we meet upon our arrival.
We've all seen terrible things, but you're safe now. Ariandel will make a fine home for you. So go yourself as sweetly to lie upon.
There are three types of Corvian we talk about in this video. There's the humanoid ones that look a lot like Father Ariandel. There's the Corvian Knights, and there's the Corvians, both of which look much more crow-like. But the name Corvian is probably derived from the Latin word corvus, which means crow, and these black feathers are what they all have in common. We get no real clue as to the origins of the humanoid Corvians, though they always reminded me of this quote by Nakamura in the Dark Souls 1 design works, where he talks about the crows of Felka. So this developer says about the other crows, he says, I like to think that they were humans who wanted to fly so badly that they sprouted wings, but rather than their skeletons evolving over time, they instead twisted their limbs themselves into unnatural positions, forcing their bodies into a bird-like shape. And that's how I've always imagined them. It really reminded me of the contortions they pull to grow wings. These humanoid Corvians, they're described as having bodies, souls, and weapons that are tainted through and through, wretched beings with no place to go. So it makes sense that they find their way to the painted world, and they rejoice upon finding a home. What sets them apart, though, is that these are the only creatures that listen to tales of the painted world told on the outside by their storytellers. We know that Forlorn can be pulled into the painted world, and we've talked about 2 cases of that already. It's possible for some beings inside to leave also. So are these Corvians how the rot got into the painting, or are they how the rot gets out? Is there a deeper meaning to their storytellers who go out into the world and guide more Corvians into the painting by telling stories of the painted world? There's a few theories that could spawn from this maybe, but one thing is certain. They worship their mistress of the painted world, Frida, the first Ash to enter the painting. And they're not the only ones. This is a Corvian knight, a killing machine that is functionally identical to those crows of Velka that you saw in Dark Souls 1's painted world. And the only piece of information that we have about those crows of Velka is a little excerpt from the design works of Dark Souls 1. In a response to a question about the crow demons, Miyazaki says, "I always thought of the painted world as somewhere where things go to escape, and the birdmen are no different. They were originally designed as worshippers of us. I always thought of the painted world as somewhere where things go to escape, and the birdmen are no different. They were originally designed as worshippers of the goddess Velka, whose bodies were warped by their devotion. I think this obsession makes them really interesting characters. So from the very beginning, these creatures were envisioned as having bodies warped by devotion. And it's impossible to know if Miyazaki still thinks of them as worshippers of Velka, but at the very least, we know that he, at some level, thinks of Velka as related to crows. And in this painted world, the devotion of these crow-like figures is directed at another female deific form, Frida. Their weapons tell us that in their infatuation with Sister Frida, the Corvian knights swore to protect the painting from fire, and to this end took to the execution of their own brethren. You saw their brethren before. They were the crows that were barely alive, and they were crawling through the mud. Rot is directed at another female deific form, Frida. Their weapons tell us that in their infatuation with Sister Frida, the Corvian knights swore to protect the painting from fire, and to this end took to the execution of their own brethren. You saw their brethren before. They were the crows that were barely alive, and they were crawling through the mud, rotting, wandering, and kept in perpetual terror by the stronger members of their former family. And it's one of the few sane members of these sad crows who tells us what happened here.
Oh, finally, you have come. Oh, wondrous Ash, grant us our wish. Make the tales true, and burn this world away. My lady must see flame, and you have only to show her. You are Ash, are you not? Is it not fire that you seek? Surely you have seen the rot that afflicts our world, but that which fooled the good father and buried the flame, after we had all made up our minds too.
We can learn a lot from these little pieces of dialogue. First, this one.
Surely you have seen the rot that afflicts our world, but that which fooled the good father and buried the flame, after we had all made up our minds too.
So this tells us that the Corvians made the decision to burn down their world for the sake of the next painting to come. This shows that they're very aware of the nature of their own world, and they were rather central to the decision-making here. even on decent terms with the good father, as they call him, they blame the witch Frida for fooling Father Ariandel into burying the flame. But another item description says that Father Ariandel and Frida chose rot over fire together, so maybe she didn't fool him as much as the Corvians would like to believe. The second interesting thing is this line of dialogue.
Make the tales true, and burn this world away.
This line made me wonder, who tells the tales in this world? Storytelling is obviously a big thing. We learned that from the storyteller Corvians in the outside world. But personally, I imagine these stories coming from Father Ariandel himself. And my main bit of evidence for that is when he says, notice how there's quotation marks around this phrase, and shortly afterwards he says, and the quotation marks are gone. So here, in Phase 3 of Frida's boss fight, I believe that Ariandel is interpreting the tale the way he wants to. He's saying that Frida's black flame is the flame alighting when the ashes are too, instead of the world burning down when the ashes are too. So maybe he didn't come up with the tales, but the tales go as far back as Father Ariandel, who was the creator of this world. And lastly,
My lady must see flame, and you have only to show her.
the painter that we've taken to calling Aria is known to the Corvians, and clearly they know her as the girl who will usher in the next world, born of what happens here. So it makes sense then that Frida would hide her away. It makes sense that we would talk about her next. So subscribe, and I'll
Subscribe. 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 Time to subscribe. Oh.
Tis only the flame quivering misguided ash. Please avert thine eyes.
asshole. Being an asshole? God damn.
Return from whence thou camest. Huria surely awaits thee.
This phase is easy. Ugh. This is basically Lady Maria. Or Maria, I'm retarded. Lady Maria. Why do I call her Maria in my head? But this is just Lady Maria or whatever. Except they changed it.
Return from whence thou camest. Huria surely awaits thee.
Back to back. Oh, when she's charging, I'll backstab her.
Return from whence thou camest. Huria surely awaits thee. Return from whence thou camest. Huria surely awaits thee.
Spook. I was just joking the last time. That was the real one. Disconnecting for a second was pretty crazy. Oh my god, that, I don't know what's going on. I don't know about it sleeping. Stop. I just gotta kill him. No! Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. No, fuck. God damn it. Whatever. No, we won. We did it. We did it. We beat it. We beat the boss. We beat the boss. We did it. Woohoo! We did it! He calls her Maria. Yeah, this is just Lady Maria. No, he's true. Okay. Okay. Backstab. Fuck. Oh. I thought she was dead. Alright, the strat for phase 2 I know is beating the father, but you have to keep her in mind. So if she appears, I think sometimes you gotta beat her up. But it is a pretty easy phase when you just kind of beat up the dad. Not that hard. No. Oh, shit.
Return from whence thou camest.
Not panic.
Furia surely awaits thee.
This boss fight's just, honestly, it's just easy. It doesn't exist. It's just an easy little baby boss. No one ever struggles with it, really. The only people who struggle with it, they just haven't played the game before. It's a really easy boss. I don't know if this is gonna fuck me over, but we'll see. I forgot I had an ember. Oh, she's just running away. Yeah, I knew she was just gonna fucking die. I knew that was just gonna kill her. I need to remember how to do the second phase. It's actually the easiest phase. I just don't remember. I think you have to wait for him to like go in the corner, and then you just kill him. No, don't choke. I did it. I actually have like 10 Estus. I'm just trying to be aggressive. Because the best defense is a good offense. And my controller keeps fucking disconnecting. I don't know what to do. My controller won't stop disconnecting. What the heck? Yeah, I think in hindsight I should have ran away instead of healing in her face, but that's something to remember. Dude. No! You're one hit away. No! Oh, just hit her. Yes. Okay. What? Did it just take away my fucking essence? Okay. Alright, this time we're not level for I thought I would do something different this time. I'm actually just gonna, oh, my controller disconnected. My controller. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, this time we're just gonna aim for the big fucking guy. I'm gonna stop going around here. The problem's just this. Yeah, that attack, that's the whole problem. She's just kind of a little annoying besides that. Yeah, I hate, oh my god. I swear you need a crossfighter. I think I just need a crossfighter for this. I hate you. No! Okay. Yeah, now you have to go and stop her from doing that. Sorry. Okay. Now we just have to avoid the little, yeah, that. Yeah, this is why this phase is easy. You see, you just have to go up to the. Oh fuck. I'm being stupid. Yes, this game's pretty easy. I don't know why they call this game hard.
I can hear the fire crackle, and soon I will see it. My thanks, Ashen One. I will finish the painting of a cold, dark, and very gentle place, so that it might make a home for someone someday. My thanks, Ashen One. I will finish.
Alright. So what happened was there was multiple. First of all, that was like the hardest fight in any Souls game for me, and that's why I won. Because I just know the patterns too well. Like, I lost against her, like, I fought her for like 3 days. I don't even know, it was a long time. I kept fucking fighting her, and I lost like so many times that I just know the patterns really well. And it just muscle memory. This was like more than a year ago. I fucking died to her a billion times. But yeah, like, I just knew when to not panic. I knew to not like just fucking panic roll everywhere. On the third phase, I was taking her seriously. The Abyss Watchers, it was the same thing. I knew the Abyss Watchers just really well. That's why I beat phase 2 of the Abyss Watchers on the first try, and I beat phase 3 of this little character because I just knew to not like panic roll everywhere. And yeah, Nameless King, on my replay of this game, I actually beat him like on my 3rd try. But I guess this time, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know why I took like 2 hours to beat him this playthrough. Yeah, he's hard to read. That guy's hard to read.
keep your marble.
Okay, can we talk about Dark Spirit Jeb? Because what the fuck was that? What the... What? I think he just fell off a cliff or something. Unlike Jeb, I have survived. Goodbye, Jeb. What a fucking idiot. Alright. That might be it for... That might be it for the gaming. Pretty badass. My controller disconnected. You know what? Fuck this.